Custom Garage.
Okay, so I made the first mount. I'm going to show you how I did it. First thing to do is going to grind the paint off the body and off the top of the frame. Then we'll make some mounts. So I cut the 4-inch 4x2 square tube that I have. I cut it at 4 inches long. I cut it at an angle from top to bottom, so both sides are the same. This will give me the upper mounts for to go on the body. I measured it 2 inches in, so I got center line, 1 3/4 inches in, and so I drill a hole for that and go through to the body, and that'll mount up to the lower mount. Okay, we'll measure back 3.5 inches from the back. I've already done one mount, so this way they'll both match. Tack and weld this on. Now I'll weld up both sides and the bottom, get this secure, then I'll drill a hole in it. Okay, that's welded inside and out on the sides and the bottom. Now, nice and sturdy, I'll drill a hole in the center. I'm actually just going to use the drill part of this, but it's the right size that I want. That's enough of that. Now we're going to drill a half-inch hole in here. Maybe. Okay, we have the bottom drilled out, or the top drilled. Now we're going to make a bottom. So here's the 4x2 stock I'm using. I'm going to measure this at 4 inches. I'm going to turn this around. Got this nice saw here for cutting metal. Make easy work out of this. Don't get easier than that. What I'm going to do next is cut both sides off here. And then I'll use this as my top. For that, I'll just use my cutoff wheel. And now we'll clean it all up. It's a little bit warm. Okay, now that I've cleaned these up, what I have here is a magnet square. You turn it on, turn it off, and I want this to be my top, so put this in here. I'm going to set my magnet square up in. As you can see, it sticks pretty good. This will fit the pieces up where I want them. Alright, this has got a little bit of an arc to it, so I'm going to try to hammer it out. Grab the hammer so I can tap it in where I want it. Alright, so the first weld I had a little hot, so I turned it down a little more here, and turned it a little bit lower even here and got a really, really good weld on that. That looks really good. Sometimes you gotta play with the heat. You got a little too hot, a little too cold, or you gotta adjust the welder and do what you need to do. Okay, we'll let this cool down just a little bit and then we'll test fit. Okay, now this piece is cooled, it's gonna fit in here like this. So what I will do, I obviously made it too long intentionally so that I can mark it, and then I'll cut it to the right height. So what I'm gonna do is clamp this down. What I'll do now is measure the, put a dot right in the center. And I'll drill that out. That's a little too close, so I'll move it. Okay, now I've got the hole drilled. I moved it out so I can get to it with the hole saw. And WD-40, keep it lubed. Okay, now I got a hole for the bushing made. Put the bushing in there. I will slide it up next to the side of the frame and mark where the frame is, where the frame is. Okay, so I marked it where the frame touched here on both sides. It was up against here tight. Now I'll cut that off, maybe just a touch long, and we'll slide it under and see how it fits. Now it's all cut, I go on the top flat. When this is done, we'll come back, we'll do some more cleaning up, and we'll get everything the way we want it to be. But for now, that's fine. I'm gonna put the bushing in, put it underneath. Gonna grab the bolt and the bottom and the nut. Okay, we tightened it up, squared it up. It's nice and flat along the edge here, like it is on the other side. And we're going to weld the bottom of this now. That's going to need a little more heat. So now we got the front nice and secure. We're going to go to the back just in front of the rear wheels, and we're going to start making mounts for that. So in here, I got these shock perches got to get welded in, so we're going to do that now. And then we're going to figure out put a mount somewhere right here to mount the body behind in front of the tire. So we'll get this thing tacked in so it's solid, then we're going to work on making a mount for here. Okay, so to build the second mount for the back, it's going to be 4 inches. Measure back 2 1/8 inches here, and I'm going to make a jig just to hold the saw straight. So that's a lot of saw to hold on to, and I found that doing this made it a lot easier. For the saw to run against. I stopped cutting just short of it so it would hang instead of fall. Okay, now that I've got this cut, I'm going to cut it on an angle here and here. Now I've already made the mounts for the left side, so the right side will be exactly the same. I cut that square tube at both in half, so I have 2 L-shaped pieces. Now both of them are going to need a side going the other way, but they were different lengths. So the first one, it got a piece of, I don't know, maybe it's an inch. About 1 1/8 flat stock, and I'm going to weld that to this side. So that one just needed a small piece. The other one is going to need a larger piece. This is some extra from welding the frame. It's 1/8 inch plate, but I don't need it to be 3.5 inches tall. So I'm going to cut a piece out of this. Okay, so I got a little level here. Basically what I did, measure the frame. I don't know if you can see that, but it's 4 degrees. There it is, I can see it now, 4 degrees. Put it under here. There you go, it's also 4 degrees. I measured this mount to the front mount that we have up there, and that's the same length. So we know that the mount is flat, is level with the body, with the frame, and it's the same distance back, so it should be perfectly where the other side is. I measured both sides the same, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tack weld that right there. Let's clean up the edge a little bit here. Okay, so I got the other piece fitting. I got it in. Had to trim it just a little bit on the tops. I marked my hole for the bottom. And now I'm going to clean up where it's going to weld onto the frame. I'll drill out my hole. And then we'll bolt this thing together. Yeah, I'm going to go drill that hole and then we'll come back. Alright, the top bracket is going to get a welded nut. So I put a washer in there, I'll weld the washer on 4 sides, and I'll weld the nut on 3 sides, and that'll secure this inside so when I put it on, I can just bolt up to it. Okay, so the mount's in place now. I'm going to weld up this and then that'll be it. We'll have all the mounts done. Sounds like it needs more heat. Turn the heat up a half, turn the speed down a half. Let's see if that sounds any better. Yep, that sounds a lot better. Smoke come out of that frame rail. Never know if you got a mousey nest in there or something. But we're gonna blow it out and make sure there's nothing in there going on. Okay, now with the body mounts done, we're gonna finish up getting everything else ready for paint. So that's for the end of this video. If you made it this far, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, hit notifications. leave me a comment. It's really appreciated. And we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.